In a world that moves at an unrelenting pace, where the constant noise of criticism and self-doubt can easily drown out our inner peace, it's crucial to remember one powerful truth. Your perception of yourself shapes the reality you experience. This isn't just about having a positive mindset. It's rooted in a deeper principle of Stoic philosophy that teaches us how to build resilience through self-mastery. Every day, we're bombarded by external pressures, expectations, and comparisons that distort how we see ourselves. But what if you had the power to reset this perception and redefine the narrative of your life from a place of strength and acceptance? Today, we're diving into the heart of this Stoic practice, the art of turning inward to examine and question how we respond to external pressures. This approach isn't about ignoring negativity, but rather transforming it into a tool for personal growth. By the end of this exploration, you'll not only begin to see yourself in a new light, but you'll also understand how to apply these timeless principles to modern challenges, creating a life filled with more acceptance and less inner rebellion. This is a journey of self-discovery. We'll peel back the layers of your self-perception and piece them back together with wisdom passed down through generations. Together, we'll learn to embrace not only the beauty of our strengths, but also the value in our vulnerabilities. This isn't just an invitation to reflect. It's a call to transform the very way you view yourself and your potential. Step 1. Reflect on the roots. To understand why we often struggle to love ourselves, we need to take a deep dive into our past. Sometimes the roots of our negative self-image are external, maybe a careless remark from someone we respected, a public embarrassment, or a series of negative interactions over time. These moments can leave deep marks on our perception of ourselves. But here's the key. While these events may shape us, they don't have to define us. Stoicism teaches us a critical lesson. We don't control external events, but we do have control over how we react to them. By practicing the Stoic art of reflection, we can look back on those specific moments with objectivity. What were the circumstances? What might the other person have been going through at that time? By detaching ourselves from the emotional weight of those moments and viewing them from a more rational perspective, we can see that these events don't have the power to define our worth. This process of reflection isn't about assigning blame or rehashing past pain. It's about gaining clarity. It's about acknowledging that our negative self-perceptions are often not accurate reflections of who we truly are, but rather reactions to external events. As we practice this form of Stoic reflection, we start to see that we are not defined by others' actions or words. Our true value is much deeper than that. The purpose of this reflection is to empower us to rewrite the narrative of our self-image. It's not about denying the pain we've experienced. It's about understanding that while these experiences may have hurt us, they don't diminish our value as individuals. By separating our worth from our experiences, we take the first steps toward healing and reclaiming our self-esteem. Each new insight gained through this practice not only weakens the hold of past hurts, but also strengthens our resilience, preparing us to face future challenges with a grounded sense of self. Step 2. Dialogue with your past self. A deeply transformative exercise is engaging in a dialogue with the younger version of yourself. Imagine you could go back in time and sit across from the child you once were. What would you say to them? What wisdom would you impart? But beyond simply offering advice, this exercise is about offering the compassion and understanding that perhaps wasn't available to you back then. Start by acknowledging the feelings of being misunderstood, overlooked, or insecure. It's powerful to tell your younger self, it's okay to feel this way. It's okay to be you, complete with all your emotions, thoughts, and imperfections. You are worthy of love, not for what you do, but for simply who you are. This affirmation can be incredibly soothing, especially if the inner child within you has internalized past negative experiences as personal flaws. This practice aligns deeply with Stoic thought. Stoicism encourages us to embrace our experiences, including the emotions tied to them, with detachment and understanding. Every experience, good or bad, is part of our philosophical journey, helping us grow into wiser, more compassionate beings. As you engage in this dialogue with your past self, listen to their dreams, fears, and desires. Understand how those early experiences shaped who you are today. What lessons can you draw from them? How can you use this newfound understanding to grow and move forward? By understanding and embracing the story of your past, you lay the groundwork for a more resilient, compassionate future. The Stoics teach us that by taking control of our perception of ourselves and engaging in a dialogue with our inner self, we can reshape our reality. This isn't just an exercise in reflection, it's an invitation to truly love and accept yourself just as you are. Healing old wounds and overcoming long-held insecurities is a powerful journey, one that often begins by addressing misunderstandings from our younger years. Many of the insecurities that haunt us as adults trace their roots to moments in our youth when we misunderstood our own value or the way others saw us. Reassuring our younger selves that they are inherently worthy, regardless of external approval or validation, is a transformative exercise in building resilience. This practice is rooted in Stoic philosophy, which teaches us that our value is not dependent on fluctuating opinions or the whims of fortune. Instead, our worth is constant, deeply embedded in our existence and in the fact that we are rational, thoughtful beings. This isn't just about healing old wounds, it's about reinforcing your current strength. By affirming your worth to your past self, you're also strengthening your present self. You remind yourself that while your past has shaped you, it doesn't have to define you. Each moment of understanding, each act of self-acceptance, is a step toward a more secure and self-compassionate future. This journey leads you toward emotional freedom and a life led by Stoic wisdom, where your sense of self is no longer determined by the approval of others, but by your own inner strength. Everyone has aspects of themselves that they've been conditioned to see negatively, traits that might feel like flaws or imperfections. Whether it's your height, the sound of your voice, or the way you laugh, these insecurities have often been shaped by outside influences. The key, according to Stoicism, is to recognize that our perceptions are within our control, even when external circumstances aren't. We have the power to reshape how we see what we've long considered flaws. Consider the freedom that comes from rethinking what you've always seen as a weakness. For example, if you've always felt self-conscious about your height, think of it as part of what makes you unique, rather than something to hide or change. Instead of feeling shame about it, reframe your thinking. My height is a distinctive feature that contributes to who I am, and I accept it fully. By embracing this simple affirmation, you begin to rewrite the narrative you've carried with you for years. Stoicism teaches us to detach our self-worth from things beyond our control, such as the opinions of others, and to focus instead on our virtues and actions. This shift allows us to turn what we once saw as vulnerabilities into sources of strength. Rather than viewing a trait as a flaw, we can begin to see it as a unique characteristic that we can own and even take pride in. This transformation is not about denying that certain traits may make life more challenging, but about changing the energy we invest in them. Instead of seeing them as liabilities, we can view them as intrinsic parts of our personal story, building a stronger, more resilient self-image in the process. As we embrace our differences, we create a foundation for our self-esteem that is harder for external judgments or criticisms to penetrate. This process, though gradual, ultimately creates a fortress of self-acceptance where our value isn't swayed by fleeting opinions. At this point in our journey, it's crucial to turn our attention to the practice of self-compassion. How often do we truly check in with ourselves? Do we take the time to ask ourselves, without judgment, how we're really doing? Self-compassion is not simply about being kind to yourself, but about being forgiving and supportive on your path. It's about acknowledging that the journey toward improvement and happiness isn't always linear and may come with its challenges. Stoicism, with its emphasis on mindfulness and presence, teaches us to focus on what we can control. One of the most empowering things we can control is our thoughts about ourselves. The Stoics urge us to observe our thoughts and emotions without being overwhelmed by them, allowing us to respond to them with compassion instead of harshness. When you practice self-compassion, start by accepting that setbacks are a natural part of life. It's okay to feel uncertain, to make mistakes, or to not meet all the standards you've set for yourself. By forgiving yourself for simply being human, you open the door to growth and learning. Equally important is the practice of celebrating your small victories. Every step forward, every act of kindness toward yourself reinforces the belief that you are worthy of care and respect. This commitment to self-compassion is truly transformative. It shifts your inner narrative and enhances your ability to navigate life's challenges with a steady hand and a peaceful heart. By becoming more mindful, as Stoics suggest, we begin to see our struggles as opportunities to apply compassion and wisdom, turning challenges into sources of personal growth. Self-compassion is also an act of rebellion against the internal critic that so often dictates our actions and decisions. It frees us from the harsh judgments we impose on ourselves and invites us to embrace a more understanding and forgiving view of our imperfections. As we cultivate this compassionate mindset, we not only improve our own well-being, but we also increase our capacity to offer genuine compassion to others, fulfilling our deeper human potential. This journey toward healing, transformation, and self-compassion is not a quick fix, it's a lifelong commitment. But by practicing Stoic principles, you build resilience, develop inner peace, and create a more authentic and empowered version of yourself. Each step along the way is a building block toward a stronger, more balanced life. Living authentically is one of the most powerful steps in the journey towards self-love and acceptance. Stoicism encourages us to break free from societal expectations and instead live in alignment with our true nature. This means making decisions that resonate with our core values, regardless of external pressures or norms. It's about being unapologetically yourself, whether that means wearing what makes you feel best or speaking your truth without fear of judgment. For instance, if you feel happiest in pajamas at a party, then why not embrace that? It's a simple decision that reflects a larger commitment to honoring your own preferences over adhering to social expectations that don't serve you. By embracing authenticity, you not only empower yourself, but also naturally attract people who appreciate and love the real you. This isn't just about making friends. It's about creating an environment around you that mirrors your values and personality, allowing you to build deeper, more meaningful connections. When you live authentically, you send a powerful message to both yourself and others about your self-worth. It enhances your self-esteem, as it shows you are aligned with your values and beliefs, regardless of how the world might judge. Stoicism teaches us that authenticity isn't just about doing what feels good in the moment, but about acting in a way that aligns with a rational, virtuous self. It means being guided by clarity of purpose, a strong commitment to personal integrity, and a deep understanding of your desires and aversions. Living authentically also leads to a more peaceful life. When you're not constantly torn between who you are and who you feel you should be, the internal conflict fades away, and a sense of calm emerges. Stoicism values inner peace, and by embracing our true selves, we naturally align our actions with our inner values. This not only brings a sense of fulfillment, but also nurtures the ability to express ourselves more genuinely in all areas of life. Moreover, living authentically isn't about selfishness, it's a practice of self-respect. When we value our needs and preferences, we set a clear standard for how we want to interact with the world. This, in turn, opens up the possibility for richer, more rewarding experiences and relationships. By living true to ourselves, we create a life rooted in personal integrity and virtue, just as the Stoics taught. Step 6 in this journey of self-love is understanding that loving yourself is not a quick fix, but a deep, ongoing process. It's a commitment that requires patience, consistency, and mindfulness. Just like the Stoics practiced virtues daily, the path to self-love requires daily effort and dedication. Some days, it may come naturally, while on others, it may feel like an uphill battle. But this is all part of the process. Growth is rarely linear, and there will be moments of both triumph and struggle. Incorporating Stoic principles into this journey helps us stay grounded. The Stoics taught resilience in the face of adversity, focusing on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and reactions. This approach allows us to remain steady even when the outside world challenges our self-esteem. It doesn't mean ignoring our feelings or hardships, but instead facing them with courage and using them as opportunities for self-reflection and growth. The Stoic perspective also teaches us to value every experience, including the challenges. Each obstacle we face on the road to self-love offers a chance to practice virtues like patience, kindness, and self-compassion. Instead of viewing setbacks as failures, we learn to see them as opportunities to grow into a more resilient and wise version of ourselves. Self-love, in this context, becomes less about fleeting feelings of pleasure and more about developing the strength to face life with grace and wisdom. Committing to self-love means making it a daily practice, whether it's through small affirmations, taking time for self-care, or simply choosing to speak kindly to ourselves in difficult moments. Each positive action strengthens the belief that we are worthy of love and respect, helping to build a solid foundation of self-love that can support us through life's ups and downs. Ultimately, this journey is deeply personal and evolves over time. With perseverance and the resilience taught by Stoic philosophy, we can cultivate a lasting and fulfilling relationship with ourselves. This isn't just important for our peace of mind, It enriches how we interact with others and approach life. When we love ourselves authentically, we open the door to a fuller, more meaningful existence. As we continue on this journey, remember that the wisdom of Stoicism isn't just ancient philosophy. It's a practical guide for living with dignity, resilience, and profound self-compassion. By embracing these teachings, we can lead lives of personal integrity and wisdom, helping ourselves and those around us grow in authenticity and strength. Thank you for being part of this journey today. Let's continue to cultivate endurance, acceptance, and compassion in our lives.